I used to be in the private sector. We always talk about the sunset industries, and many of the sunset industries are still here today. The sun never sets. So I've learned that actually there are no sunset industries because there are no sunset businesses. You just need to continue to transform. And if you stay where you are, if you are doing exactly the same thing 20 years ago, you're still doing the same thing today, you are vulnerable. How can we transform our businesses so that we can respond to the new reality? And businesses can continue to survive, but they need to continue to transform. Some may go through merger and acquisition. Some may need to move to new business line. Some may need to break up new businesses, new markets, and bring into new markets. Some may need to think about how can I adopt a technology so that I become more competitive than my next competitor. I want to give an example which I gave before, and this is the timber industry. The timber industry have decided that they will come together to all move into a team mart. I think it's in Kranji. This way, even without merger and acquisition, by coming together, they have scale. Many of the services can be shared. And some of the businesses are supplier to another business all together. So it's very efficient. This way, they become more competitive, cost competitive. But at the same time, they also move up the product ladder to become more higher value-added products, no longer just the run-of-the-mill timber, but they are going into furniture, they go into high specification, specialized timber.
The world has changed. The conditions for our economic success over the past 30 years have fundamentally changed, and we're not going back to that world. The ESR is recommending 4 key moves. First, double down on our strengths in growth sectors. Second, to push out our growth frontier. Third, to build up our AI capability. And then fourth, to deepen our connectivity with the world. If we are able to achieve this, when we are able to achieve this, Singapore will be in a better position for us to compete in a changed world. I also shared earlier about how we are going to aggressively pursue new technologies. So I mentioned a few: quantum computing, I mentioned decarbonization technologies, I mentioned, space. These are actually adjacent to some of our growth sectors. So they are not sort of out of the blue, but in fact, they're adjacent to our growth sectors. And these are, new sectors where we may not have the right to win yet, but actually we need to win the right to play in the sector. Healthcare, obviously, is an existential problem for us because of our demographics. And here, Microsoft Research Lab is working very closely with, I believe, one of our healthcare institutions to develop solutions related to precision medicine. Basically, looking at customized data, maybe customized even to the individual, how you can then develop customized therapeutics or healthcare solutions.
When we talk about AI technology disruptions, what it means to the workers, the natural first step was everybody was a little bit pessimistic, maybe a little bit protective. But I think as the conversations go along, a lot of the both private sector as well as our union members felt that actually, if you honestly think about it, we're a small country, people is our most valuable resource, we can never have enough workers. The appearance of a technology that can actually increase multiple folds the productivity of each person should be great news to us. That means that every Singaporean now can do way more. And then perhaps our limitations around manpower and all that can all be overcome. I was just at Ward 63 of SGH 2 days ago, and you can see how their nurses are also using technology, AI, to help them take care of patients. So for example, previously, the ward nurse will have to go around patrolling to make sure that all the patients are comfortable, well settled and all that. But today they can use a camera as well as a monitor to help them keep better track of patients. And then this is also where the data as well as the AI can help them pick up movements and see whether is the patient in distress, not in distress. But that way, one ward nurse now can do way more than before.
We hope our businesses, our economy will embrace AI so that we are not just a user of AI. We are, in fact, become part of the developer of AI solutions. And aside for these solutions to be tested, to be piloted, to be deployed, and eventually to scale. some of the solutions that are developed here may then be applied in all over the world. Right? Some of the MNCs who develop solutions here are actually applying the same solution in other parts of the world where they have operations. We can no longer assume that growth will automatically generate jobs. With automation, with AI, and with productivity, and as all of us hope to achieve, is to have higher value add industries, business activities. That means with higher value add per worker, you may not need as many workers. So I think job creation will be another challenge.
We really need to broaden the range of good jobs available to Singaporeans, and it should reflect their aspirations as well as their talents and skills. And second is that with the new opportunities that will arise, we want to help Singaporeans gain new skills to be able to seize those opportunities and jobs that will come. It could be jobs in tradecraft, like in the electrician kind of a trade, right? But we are talking about not just the way we understand electricians today, but the whole electrification of the grid, EVs, I think that opens up a whole new possibility in terms of what kind of new jobs in the electrification sector that will come about. And when it comes to that, we feel there's a role to look at how you can structure pathways, structure skills, work with IHLs to provide some of those new skills, new certification, upgrading pathways for Singaporeans to be able to do that so that they can gradually uplift themselves, and then that whole idea of what is an electrician actually changes quite significantly.
Actually, our local company focus is not just SMEs, but a whole range of local companies that are big and small. And we do want to encourage them to go overseas if possible. And not all companies are able to go overseas, as you mentioned. We accept that. But those we can, who are willing, we are happy to support them and to launch them. As Jeffrey said, we want to become a launch pad, not just a landing pad. But I accept that it's not easy. It's an uphill task because it's always better to be operate within your comfort zone that you're familiar with. Going out of Singapore is always, there's always uncertainty, there's always a challenge. And that's why the government is prepared to find ways to help you and support you. Singaporeans are the same. We encourage Singaporeans, individuals, to go overseas, to have overseas exposure. This will allow them to have a broader perspective of what the whole world is about. But we want to anchor them back in Singapore. One day they'll come back and contribute back to Singapore. Even if they don't physically come back, they will know that their homes are in Singapore. They may be working for Singapore companies that are stationed overseas, and that's fine too. But their heart will always be rooted to Singapore. That's what Singaporeans is about.